Yep, all set.
All right, just push the button.
Good morning and welcome to the 2023 Class A Meet the Candidates event. Today, we are welcomed by 4 candidates who are interested in serving on this Class A Seapine CSA Board of Directors event. My name is Amanda Jones, and I am the Seapine CSA Director of Communications, and I'll be serving as your moderator for today's event. Certainly excited to be here and excited to introduce you to our Class A candidates. Our candidates today, again, for our Class A Board of Directors, we have Stephen Fricker, Jim Casky, Lee Stevens, and Andrea Tarbuck. Today, our agenda, we will go through our elections process and some reminders for this event. We will hear from each of our candidates. They have been randomly selected to speak on the topic of their choice, so we are excited to hear from them. A timer is posted on this meeting for each of those candidates. They have 10 minutes and the timer will count down accordingly, so we are excited to hear from them. The meeting is being live streamed. We appreciate those who are viewing the meeting in person in real time. If you can't watch it in real time, we hope you have a chance to go back and take a look at it at a future date. The meeting will be posted on our website, seapinesliving.com/elections. And we'll go through some brief reminders. Again, candidates have been randomly selected. The timer is posted and they are ready to get started. And the meeting is live streamed. Just some important dates to remember. Our next date, which is the November 1st date, will be the date the ballots are sent to members who were members in good standing as of the date of record of October 1st, 2023. Those ballots are back by December 1st, 2023. At this time, we will welcome our first randomly selected candidate. And the first randomly selected candidate to speak is Miss Andrea Tarbuck. Andrea, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So we're going to get that clock reset for us, Stephen, and that 10-minute timer, if you wouldn't mind. And Andrea, as noted, that timer is in the top right-hand corner. Once you see it, hit 10, feel free to get started.
All righty. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. And I want to thank you all for taking a few moments to hear why I believe I'm fully qualified to be your representative on the CSA Board of Directors. I've served since 2019 on the CSA Finance Committee, and I've developed a much deeper understanding of the needs, resources, opportunities, and inner workings of our community. Using that knowledge to help our community enhance our success is my motivation to seek this position representing property owners. Of particular interest is to continue addressing our aging infrastructure needs, overseeing the use of financial resources, maintaining sound fiscal policies, providing adequate staffing levels, increasing transparency through open meetings, and organizing issue-focused events. I'm running because I have the desire to maintain the breathtaking beauty of our community. I think it's just amazing. The amenities we enjoy and the warm, friendly ambiance. A key objective is to ensure our community remains financially sound. Inflation and increasing costs, along with the increased demand for services due to the growing popularity, have increased the strain on our finances. Our aging infrastructure creates more stress. 85% of us voted to invest over $36 million in infrastructure improvements. We must ensure that these funds are used as intended and the community is kept informed of the results of this program. I am committed to transparency in all we do. The increasing number of rentals constrain our community services, such as increased security expense. The rental fee registration program was initiated this year. As with many first-year programs, we're experiencing some hiccups, and we're going to examine those results and determine how we can improve its implementation ensure the funding is being used for the purposes intended, and transparently report to our community the results. We need to bring our IT infrastructure up to date, such as modernizing our entrance gates and vehicle pass systems. Having led major IT organizations for over 20 years, I'm well versed in designing and implementing new state-of-the-art systems. Regarding transparency, I'd like to bring back open meetings and issue-focused events. Besides increasing transparency of the process, I'm still old-fashioned enough to believe that in-person interactions are more productive and hence more valuable than just online meetings. My journey to Hilton Head began with a week-long work seminar in April of 1986. Honestly, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. Such a beautiful spot. Everything was perfect. The weather, the picturesque natural scenery, the ocean, the beach, my accommodations. The only thing that went a little wrong was when I rode the bike down the beach, I was feeling very self-satisfied that my athletic prowess compared to the poor cyclists heading the opposite direction who were all huffing and puffing. But then I turned around because I had to go back. And as I rode up the beach, I realized the strong headwinds and I almost missed my next meeting. I did get there, although I was a big sweaty mess. Anyway, after that visit, I couldn't get back to the island fast enough. And the next year I brought my family here for vacation. We vacationed here nearly every year until 2014, and we were renting various homes then. Finally, I figured out how we could afford our own vacation home as long as we rented it out part-time. We purchased our dream home in South Beach and put it on the short-term rental market until 2021. At 2021, we made it our primary residence, and we still spend summers though in the Chicago area. For those of you who don't know me, the short summary of me is I'm a mother, grandmother, wife, and a 50-plus year career woman. I grew up in the Finger Lakes region of New York State. My dad was a Cornell University botany professor, and my mom was my high school biology teacher. So it's not surprising I grew up with a passion for plants and gardening. Realizing whatever career, though, I eventually choose, I knew I was going to be working with people, and subsequently, I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology at Connecticut College. I believed it'd be an asset to better understand what makes people tick, although I have to admit, we did spend a lot of time studying cats, rats, and mice. My next realization was I needed to actually earn a living. And so I proceeded to earn an MBA from the University of Rhode Island. My husband and I raised 3 daughters. One is a surgeon, one is an investment banker, and the third is a communications expert. We've also added 2 grandsons to our family. We live in Connecticut until 2006, when we moved to the northern suburbs of Chicago for a career opportunity. My professional life began as an auditor at Ernst & Young, where I became a CPA. Eventually, I moved on and worked my way up the corporate ladder at various global corporations, including Fortune Brands, Gartner, and BP. In 2006, I was the founding officer of Capstone Paper and Packaging, a New York Stock Exchange traded company. As the EVP and CFO of the company, I was responsible for our financial reporting, cash management, capital structure, budgeting, forecasting, analysis, investor relations, and controls. However, in addition to that, I was also responsible for all of our administrative functions, including human resources, information technology, and legal. We grew Capstone into the 5th largest paper and packaging company in the United States by 2019, when we sold the company to WestRock for $5 billion, creating huge returns for our investors. During my tenure at Capstone, I was selected by Institutional Investor as one of America's best CFOs, and I was selected by the Financial Executives Institute of Chicago as the CFO of the year. Since then, I've taken 2 more companies public through mergers with SPACs, which are special purpose acquisition companies. I currently am on the board of Solo Brands, and I have to say, and I'm also the audit chair at Solo. So, and I want to put a pitch in now. So Solo makes those beautiful stainless steel fire pits outside. I'm sure you've seen the ads or whatever, but they're wonderful. They're smokeless, and I'm putting in the pitch. Every backyard should have one. And finally, I'm also an advisor for Athena Technology Acquisition Corp. Regarding community service, I joined the CSA Finance Committee in 2019, giving me insights and knowledge not only to CSA's financial position, but to the majority of community operations. The operating budget's well over $20 million per year just to keep the lights on, maintain our roads, bike paths, grounds, provide stormwater management, gate passes, security, and so on. Basically, it's the CSA is providing services to a small town. The Finance Committee evaluates and recommends items for the CSA board, such as the annual operating and infrastructure budgets, annual audited statements, 5-year plan, appointment of investment advisors, and more. The Finance Committee is currently working on making some of our financial statements more transparent by providing more detailed information. As for other community service, for the past 10 years, I've been a member of the Dean's Advisory Council for the Business School at University of Rhode Island. The school has consistently seen its rankings improve over the past decade. In 2022, my involvement in the Advisory Council, I was asked to join as the director of the URI Foundation and Alumni Engagement Foundation, which manages the school's endowment, fundraising, and alumni relations. I also serve as a director of the URI Development Committee. I'm proud to say that my service to the school is being recognized this weekend, where I'll receive the 2023 URI Distinguished Alumni Award from the Business School. Additionally, for the last 10 years, I've served on the Connecticut College President's Council, which provides alumni feedback, strategic direction to the school. We're the alumni sounding board. Certainly, striving for the best interests of the overall community should be the goal of CSA. My professional and community service experiences have equipped me well to succeed as a CSA board member with expertise in strategic planning, information systems, leadership, human resources, negotiating, and communications. I'm well positioned to deliver the support and direction required and desired. I have experienced Sea Pines from many perspectives as a tourist, a landlord, and now a resident. My professional work and community service experiences qualify me to be an effective board member. Thank you all very much for listening, and I greatly appreciate your vote. I'm eager to serve, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. We certainly appreciate your time and your information. We will now move to the next candidate. Thank you again. Thank you again, Andrea. The next candidate that has randomly been selected is Stephen Fricker. Stephen, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll go ahead and get your reset for that time clock. We can, Stephen Vincenier, if you can get us reset on that for us. There we go. Go ahead, Stephen. Thanks again.
Okay. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to introduce myself and to be considered for this role on the CSA board. First of all, let me say that I'm sure all the candidates running for these positions have a deep affection for sea pines and a strong desire to protect the quality of life that we all enjoy here. I can assure you that no one is more vested in this community than my wife and I are, as we are full-time year-round residents. I made the decision to run for this board because I believe the experience I've gained over the past 35 years in business, especially in the development area, has given me great insight into not only community improvement projects, but also extensive experience in dealing with various government agencies and diverse stakeholder groups. I believe that Sea Pines represents some very unique challenges for this board due to the mixture of interest groups we have in the community. We aren't just a group of full-time homeowner residents, which a typical HOA would deal with. I totally understand that. We have both full and part-time homeowners, investors with rental properties accommodating short-term vacation renters, and a major resort facility with various lodging and recreational elements all within our gates. In addition to that, we have several independent commercial businesses and a private school operating adjacent to Sea Pines. All of these diverse groups have their own interests and desires, which makes Sea Pines a very complicated community to operate. Our biggest issue, in my opinion, which the CSA board has identified, is the entry and exit from Sea Pines. We've all sat in long traffic lines at our gates and experienced this in real time. This issue won't go away, but will continue to get worse if it isn't addressed. It is not only a convenience issue, but I believe a safety issue. This particular issue is heavily impacted by the decisions made by government agencies and their commitments of the funding necessary to accomplish the needed fixes. This is a difficult situation, as our most critical issue is not solely controlled by just this board, but by others who control the environment outside our gates. In addition to this priority issue, we have other community needs, which I have my own opinions on, but those opinions at this point are based on the facts I'm aware of. I would look forward to better understanding all the facts on any issues addressed by the board to allow me to contribute to an informed decision. I believe that being here full-time and utilizing all the amenities that this community has to offer gives me a deep understanding on a day-to-day basis of every aspect of Sea Pines life. From the biking and hiking on our leisure trails to the golf, the pickleball, the marina facilities, as well as the various resort facilities we get to enjoy, and of course, our beautiful beaches. My wife and I utilize all that the community has to offer on a daily basis. Having recently retired from my senior executive roles in various corporations in my various entrepreneurial endeavors, I'm ready and able to commit whatever time is required to fulfill the responsibilities of this position. My career provided me with extensive experience in development of various restaurant brands and preschools. All of the hundreds of projects I managed involved collaborating with various interest groups, as well as various government agencies, very similar to our Sea Pines situation. I believe I can draw on that experience to contribute to the dialogue and evaluation of changes to the community that the community must address, and perhaps provide some ideas I've seen in the past that would help our decision-making process. I also have extensive board experience, which included several HOA boards within large communities and large industry association boards with very diverse member makeups. Some of these experiences actually involved addressing some very similar issues as those being faced by CSA today. I don't profess to have all the answers, only real life experiences that I can draw upon to provide input into the CSA decision process. I'm a great collaborator and work well with others, which helps me to be effective in a board environment such as this. My relationships with various people that I've met here in the community over the past year include quite a few people who I've met that have rental properties that they purchased here as investments. This group has certainly grown in community since COVID. They have distinct viewpoints on issues, as Sea Pines is a business for them, not a full-time residence. The renters who share our community on a short-term basis don't have the same interest in the community as our residents do, and that needs to be weighed during all appropriate decisions. For us as residents, this is our home. For them, those properties are vacation accommodations. I volunteered a year ago after moving here to be part of the Safety, Security, and Transportation Committee of CSA. Being on that committee was very informative and provided me with some valuable insight into some aspects of the management of CSA. I now believe I am prepared to increase my involvement in our beloved community by being on the CSA board. Finally, let me share with you that I'm a big advocate for transparency on boards. I've always prided myself on very open communication to the groups I represent. My skills as a great listener were developed at an early age, as I was always taught that we had 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and that was to listen twice as much as we spoke. If I'm elected, I would be open to all comments and input from any stakeholder affected by decisions this board addresses. Everyone's input is needed and valuable, and in my point of view, to ensure all facts and ideas are considered. All I ask is that that input is done respectfully in an open communication fashion. Thank you for your time to speak to you today, and I would be honored to receive your support. I'm certainly open to talk to any of you about any areas of concern you might have about my positions prior to you casting your votes. You all have the right to better understand me in order to decide if I am the right candidate for your support. Thank you again for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Certainly appreciated. We will now move on to the next candidate. The next candidate that has been randomly selected is Lee Stevens. Lee, welcome. We'll go ahead and get that timer reset for you. Just give us a moment. All right, Lee, go ahead. Stephen, can we get that reset at 10 minutes so we can have that countdown start fresh at 10 for Lee? Thank you. Go ahead, Lee.
Good morning. I want to thank Amanda for all of her communications to prepare us for this session and the CSA nominating committee for approving my nomination. For those of you who don't know me, here are a few things you should know about me. I am passionate about life in sea pines. I'm a hard worker who digs into the details of an issue. I'm a person who looks not only at what is, but what can be. This morning I'm going to talk about the input I received during my meet and greet sessions, as well as input I received on social media and via email. I will follow that up with my background and experience. Since the nominations for the Sea Pines CSA board were announced at the beginning of September, I've held 3 meet and greet sessions to meet with and hear from members of the community. There are 2 more scheduled, one at Tower Beach on October 19th at 10 a.m., that's this coming Thursday, and one via Zoom on November 2nd at 6:30. If you would like to attend the Zoom meet and greet, send me an email at leestevens4csa@gmail.com. That's Lee Stevens, the numeral 4, csa@gmail.com. Today, I want to talk about what I've heard from you, the owners, that have attended the meet and greets or reached out to me via social media or email. Here are the topics that are at the top of the list of the owners I've talked to. Topic number 1, gate entry issues, traffic backup at the gate for both entry and exit. In my bio, I mentioned that I have managed the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships. This is what I've learned from managing an event of this magnitude that has an attendance of over 125,000 people over 3 days, where I am involved in all aspects from ticket sales and marketing to parking, security, and player and fan safety. One aspect of managing the event is to understand the touch points with attendees that maximize the success of the event. In the case of a sporting event, the parking experience is the first impression. Events where attendees have a positive parking experience have a higher fan rating. In Sea Pines, the Greenwood Gate is our front door, and it is our chance to provide a first impression. We need to do a better job of improving that experience for owners and visitors alike. Topic number 2, value of community members serving on CSA committees. The purpose of board committees is to involve members of the community in the decision process and to provide expertise that does not currently exist on the board. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, there have been a significant number of community members who have resigned from committees as they felt they were not valued and were wasting their time. We need to take another look at the committee structure in Sea Pines. Topic number 3, return of in-person CSA board meetings and community coffees, as well as via Zoom. I hear about the board meetings and the community coffees returning to in-person from almost everyone that I've talked to. For those of you not familiar with this issue, prior to COVID, board meetings were held at the community center and were open to owners to attend, and a Q&A session was available at the end of the meeting that provided an opportunity for owners to interact with their elected board members. Community coffees were held monthly where CSA staff presented to the community on the major projects they were working on, and a Q&A session was available to ask questions of the staff and the CSA president. Topic number 4, rental concerns over fee equity, accuracy of rental property lists, and accounting of and use of rental fees. I understand that the fees associated with rental properties by both the town and CSA is controversial with those that rent. I do agree that the establishment and collection of these fees needs to be done in a fair and equitable fashion. I don't think that is currently the case. Topic number 5, plans for the property purchased by CSA outside the gate where the gallery of shops previously stood. There has been no update on this subject by the board, and this again is one of the top issues that owners would like to hear about. Since my wife Debbie and I purchased our home in Sea Pines in 2013, I have served the greater Sea Pines community in various capacities. Here's my background and experience that I think make me uniquely qualified to serve on the CSA board. I'm a board member and current board president of the Greenwood Forest Owners Association, a 190 home community within Sea Pines. Greenwood Forest is a microcosm of Sea Pines in that membership in the Greenwood Forest Owners Association is required by our covenants, which were written in 1971 by the same attorneys that wrote the Sea Pines covenants. And we have many of the same constraints, including the 75% threshold to change our covenants. In 2022, we were successful in making 12 common sense changes to the Greenwood Forest covenants and bylaws with an over 90% vote of approval. I was a member of the CSA Governance Committee from 2017 to 2022. I worked with a subcommittee to recommend best practices for the board, including annual board evaluation and establishment of staggered terms for community board members to serve on board committees. The staggered terms would create better institutional memory and prevent 100% turnover of a committee in any one year. I was a member of the Land Use Management Committee, now called Community Standards, from 2018 to 2022 that wrote much of the current community standards rules currently in place for the first time included the potential to fine owners who failed to respond to fix issues with their home. Prior to the inclusion of fines, the only enforcement available was to take the owner to court, a lengthy and expensive process. It's important to note that the rules, and particularly the fines, are in place for the less than 2% of owners who refuse to repair issues with their home that affect the home values of their neighbors. I currently serve as a board member of the Sea Pines Property Owners Association, previously known as ASPO. My term expires at the end of this year, and I'm not running for a second term, as I feel there should not be an overlap of the boards of the two organizations. I'm a current board member of the Sea Pines Architectural Review Board since 2021. The ARB is an independent organization set up to review all plans for new construction and any exterior work performed on a Sea Pines home. The ARB meets every Tuesday to review plans submitted by owners and/or their architects and either approve or provide feedback as to what is required to obtain approval. I've been an RBC Heritage volunteer since 2014. I have HOA board experience in Pennsylvania prior moving to Sea Pines on the board of an 1,100 home community, which also had responsibility for all infrastructure, including roads, retention basins, leisure trails, and 2 community centers. We had a reserve fund that was included as a line item in the annual budget to make sure that future repair and replacement of infrastructure was properly funded. I served on the board of USA Lacrosse, the national governing body for men's and women's lacrosse, for 10 years and 2 years as the board chair. I'm a graduate of Drexel University with a BS in math and psychology. I taught high school math and computer science for 10 years. I coached high school and Division I college women's soccer and men's lacrosse. I officiated lacrosse at the high school and college level for 35 years. And as previously mentioned, I've been a tournament manager for the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships when held in Philadelphia since 2005. It is the second largest NCAA championship by attendance after men's basketball. I spent the majority of my professional life in the healthcare information systems business in various management and executive positions. Thank you for your time today to hear about the issues that are important to the owners I have talked to and to learn about my background and experience. I hope I have earned your vote.
Thank you, Lee. We will now move on to Jim Caskey. Jim, welcome. We'll go ahead and have you link up to your audio and share your video, Jim. Thank you. Good morning. Let's let Stephen get that clock reset. Give us just a moment to get that done on that top right-hand corner. All right, Jim, you may begin.
Well, good morning, everyone. Let me begin by saying we love Sea Pines. We just celebrated our 14th summer here with our kids and grandkids. I'd like to tell you how that happened, how it makes me committed to Sea Pines, and how I hope to continue to serve you well as a CSA board member. Back in 2008, our daughter and son, who moved too many times as I climbed the corporate ladder, challenged us to create a family home where we would all gather and where they would have amazing vacations. We searched various places, Florida, Arizona, and elsewhere. In the past, we had visited Sea Pines as tourists. Friends of ours in Buffalo said, "Oh, we have a house, go down and check it out." So we did. In 2008, October, We came down despite the collapse of the financial markets, but we bought it that weekend. We just fell in love with it. Then we began a renovation of what has become our family dream home in a dream location. Fast forward 15 years. We've been part-timers for lots of those. As well, now we are full-timers. And what was 6 of us is now 11 of us that gather. 15 years of family gatherings and hosting vacationing friends. Everyone loves coming. Everyone loves Sea Pines. This is a large part of why I'm running for a Class A seat on the board as a homeowner, hopefully elected by my fellow homeowners. It's simply because we love Sea Pines. We want to help make it even better. Our community has so many assets and activities. The wonderful Sea Pines Resort and its beautifully maintained facilities, the diverse mix of residential properties, the mix of full and part-time and rental properties, the many great commercial enterprises, the shops, restaurants, Harbor Town, Sea Pine Center, South Beach, Salty Dog, Lawton Stables, tennis and pickleball venues, the beautiful natural environment, our amazing beach, the miles of leisure trails, the forest preserve, our reputation as a vacation and golf destination, and even personally, our final destination, the magnificent Six Oaks Cemetery. So I asked myself, how can I use my gifts, talents, experiences, skills, and passion for Sea Pines to protect what we have and make it even better? The answer is to volunteer and serve, continuously working to advance and improve Sea Pines, and to always act in the best interest for the common good for our community, for the mutual benefit of all the various stakeholders. Everywhere we go in Sea Pines, we meet so many warm and wonderful people. We count our blessings being able to walk our dogs, see kids playing on the beach, bike alongside families, watch golfers play the wonderful courses, watch the tennis and pickleball players go at it. The Sea Pines community is an amazing place. Janie, my wife of 47 years, and I are committed to help where we can to make it even better. I assume you've all had a chance to read the short bio. I was an executive of various healthcare organizations for over 40 years. My last full-time position, I was CEO of a $1.5 billion health system with about 14,000 employees. I'm a founding partner of Medically Home, a new healthcare startup company that we just recently sold to Mayo Health System. I've served on over 40 boards. I was elected to be the first health system CEO outside New York City to be chair of the 280 Greater New York Hospital Association and its $500 million ventures company. I have 3 master's degrees, extensive experience in leadership of various not-for-profit organizations. And I want to recognize my wife, Jane's volunteer spirit on behalf of the community. She's an artist, active in the art community, and has her Top Bird studio in the Sea Pines Center. In addition, she's an active board member of the Women's Club of Sea Pines, serving in various leadership and support roles. All of us living in Sea Pines on a full or part-time basis can point to lives highlighted by successes. All of us have high expectations. The CSA board, all of whom are homeowners, certainly are an accomplished mix of people who volunteer and work to make our community better. The key is how we draw upon our vast experiences and serve as volunteers dedicated to being good stewards of our community's resources while promoting the common good, what's in the best interest of all. I have been serving on the CSA board since 2018, appointed as a Class B member by the commercial enterprises, even though we have no commercial interests. I've chaired the Safety and Security Committee. I've served on the Planning Committee. I chair the Governance Committee. I chair the Governance and Planning Committee. I've been vice chair of the board, and I was on the Executive Committee. And I've been a member of various CSA task forces on revenue enhancement, Greenwood Gate, and other vital matters. As chair of the Governance Committee, I led an updating of the conflict of interest policies and full disclosure practices, introduced a board self-assessment tool, terms, introduction of operating guidelines for all committees, and we got electronic voting for the proxies. Currently, we're in the process of updating the CSA mission and vision statements that are grounded in this concept of common good and mutual benefit. In short, I want to protect and enhance the value of our homes, your home, my home, and the community's assets. There should be a secure and wonderful Sea Pines in the future for our kids and grandkids. I believe it's time to see if my fellow homeowners will grant me the honor to serve as a Class A board member. I desire to bring stakeholders together, informed by their perspectives, to help all of us act in the interest of what best promotes the benefit for all. As a member of the board, my priorities would be to continue to advance the principle of common good, making sure we deliberate and make decisions in the mutual best interest of the whole community. Number two, help set specific priorities and fully support Sam Bennett, our outstanding executive, his amazing leadership team, and a wonderful staff that works so very hard to keep our community safe, functioning, beautiful, and focused on the future. Solve the gate issue, including having cashless payment, redesign traffic flow, and a guest pass center away from the gates, and look to fund such changes, possibly through a referendum allowing transfer fees to be initiated. Continue the vigorous investment in our community that improve our infrastructure, our safety, our security, code enforcement, information technology, and the protection and beautification of our natural spaces. Continue to develop business plans that detail the sources of funding for the investments required. In the end, we are people who volunteer because we believe we can do good. The CSA board comes together, enriched by our individual experiences, our points of view, our personal and business perspectives, but at the board table, it is about arriving at decisions that are in the mutual best interest of the entire community. Of course, there will be differences of opinion, and some of our community view the situation believing they are right, they know best, somebody else is wrong. That's okay. Differences of opinion vetted do help make better decisions, as long as such differences do not create damaging conflict across the community. My belief is to act in the interest of the majority and thus in the best interest of the community. I look back over the last 5 years and celebrate how much has been done. I'm encouraged when 88% of us voted to fund the infrastructure improvement. But we all need to remember that CSA is about a $22 million company facing lots of needs, lots of demands. Establishing priorities is very hard, complicated, and not always supported by 100% of the stakeholders. A few in our community have their opinions, have the right to challenge us. Some even litigate. But our purpose as a board is to act in the interest of all stakeholders and the majority. I believe the majority wants these efforts to continue and want to make Sea Pines even better. The board has been charged with this mandate. I believe most all of us want our community to continuously improve, invest in quality, focus on safety, fix the infrastructure of roads, drains, gates, enhance code enforcement, enhance information technology, and protect the aesthetic of Sea Pines. I bet we all pinch ourselves about how lucky we are to have a home in Sea Pines and enjoy the magic of this community. That is why I'm running. I am committed to try to do my best as one of the stewards charged with such oversight. Thank you for your support and hopefully your vote.
Thank you so much, Jim. Certainly appreciated. At this point, I'll have all candidates stay on mute and turn off their videos. Thank you, Jim. Again, that concludes our presentations from each of our candidates. Thank you to each of them, Jim Caskey, Lee Stevens, Stephen Fricker, and Andrea Tarbuck. To learn more about each of these Class A Board of Director candidates, please visit our website. That link is seapinesliving.com/elections. There you'll find their candidate profiles and some important upcoming dates related to the elections. Again, thank you to each of our candidates for their willingness to serve the community and to serve Sea Pines. This concludes our Meet the Candidates event.